Hello viewers, welcome to the series Bhaskar's Insurance for You and Me. In the last episode, we have discussed about overseas travel insurance related aspects like need for overseas travel policy, eligibility to take the policy, and scope of cover under the policy. The rest of the points pertaining to the product will be discussed in the current presentation. Regarding the sum insured and the deductible, the different covers discussed earlier in our earlier episode are provided under different sections of the policy, and each section has a sum insured applicable. The sum insured is the maximum payable for the contingency covered under the respective sections. The proposer has to choose appropriate sum insured for different sections from the options provided in the product at the time of proposing for cover. Also, some of the sections are subject to what we call as deductibles. The deductibles are the claim amounts which must be borne by the insured, and the insurer's liability arises beyond the deductible amount only. The sum insured and deductible are shown in USD in respect of covers operating during overseas travel, and it is shown in INR in respect of covers operating in India. The policy document provided to the insured will have the details of all the sections opted, the sum insured chosen for each section, and the applicable deductible in the form of a schedule. A sample schedule is shown here for reference. I have shown very few sample covers here. For example, the emergency medical cover, repatriation of mortal remains, emergency dental treatment, etc. are shown. So you can find that benefits are listed. The sum insured applicable for each benefit is listed. Similarly, the deductibles are listed. Now we will see how the premiums are calculated under this policy. The premium payable under overseas travel policy depends on the following aspects. What are the sections chosen and the sum insured opted under each section? Age of the person to be insured, the trip duration, what is the number of days the person is traveling, and the countries of travel. The duration of cover is an important aspect under travel policies. The period of insurance starts from the start date of cover mentioned in the policy schedule or departure of the insured person from his usual place of residence in India for onward overseas journey, whichever is later. Similarly, the cover terminates at the expiry date mentioned in the policy schedule or the insured's return to his usual place of residence in India, whichever is earlier. So the cover under the policy is valid for the insured trip within the geographical locations under the policy. By the term insured trip, what we mean is the planned journey which commences and ends in India, what is stated in the proposal form. The scope of cover commences on crossing the international border of India, except in respect of some covers like personal accident, domestic, trip cancellation, etc., which are applicable even within the country itself. What are the major exclusions under the policy? The policy has many general exclusions which are applicable for all the covers under the policy. Also, each of the specific section will also have certain exclusions which apply to the specific cover provided under that particular section. So the exclusions are slightly, they vary from product to product and insurer to insurer. Hence, the policyholder has to carefully go through both these exclusion categories, that is the general exclusions and the specific exclusions for each section, to understand what is not covered in the policy. Few of the exclusions are discussed now. One of the major exclusion relates to the pre-existing disease. Any treatment arising due to a pre-existing condition is excluded under the policy. Some of the products available in the market, they provide for waiver of this exclusion on payment of premium. So it is suggested that wherever such a provision to buy back this exclusion, that is waiver of the exclusion, is available, better to purchase a pre-existing condition extension. When such an extension is purchased, the insurance under the policy gets extended to cover medical expenses incurred for treatment rendered in a life-threatening medical condition due to pre-existing disease also. The treatment would be generally payable for any sudden, unexpected, unforeseen development which is attributable to a pre-existing condition only till the insured becomes medically stable, or is relieved from acute pain. The liability of the company under this extension is generally limited to a certain percentage of sum insured or up to a certain specified sum insured only as specified in the policy. The next exclusion is if the treatment taken by the insured person overseas is the sole or one of the reasons of the overseas travel, such treatment is excluded from policy coverage. In other words, if the insured person is traveling abroad for the purpose of obtaining treatment, such treatment is excluded under the policy. Also, the policy is not liable for any claims if the insured person is traveling against the advice of a medical practitioner or has received a terminal prognosis for a medical condition. The policy also excludes any routine physical tests or examinations which are not consistent with or incidental to the diagnosis and treatment of illness or injury. Suicide or attempted suicide, use or abuse of drugs, alcohol, intentional criminal acts, they're all part of general exclusions in the policy. So few of the products also have exclusion for orthopedic, degenerative or oncological diseases and cancer treatments unless such treatment pertains to life-threatening medical conditions or measures solely to relieve acute pain. So the customers are advised that they need to go through the entire list of exclusions in the policy to fully understand the coverage. The next important aspect about this particular policy is on the policy extension. In case of single trip policies, after the travel has commenced, there could be some reason for prolonging the stay of insured abroad. In such cases, the insured must inform the insurer and seek extension of the policy to cover the extended period of stay in foreign country. The terms of extension will vary from between different insurers, but such request must be sent to insurer well before the cover expiry date, generally at least 7 days prior to policy expiry. The extension is considered by the insurer after review of the claims data, subject to the total trip period not exceeding 360 or 365 days depending on the company, and payment of additional premium. The next aspect is on the policy cancellation. If the insured trip or the travel did not commence, the policy can be cancelled at the request of insured, with certain amount of premium being retained by insurer towards cancellation charges. However, a single trip policy cannot be cancelled while the policy is effective. Some products do have provision for cancellation of the policy in case of early return by the insured. The refund in such cases is as per the table of premium refund provided in the policy document. No cancellation is permitted in respect of policies where any claim is intimated. Regarding the claim process, as we can see, most of the covers under the policy operate while the insured person is outside India. So the claim contingencies occur outside India. Hence, there is a need for servicing the customer in the country of travel. For this purpose, most of the insurers have agreements with global TPAs known as assistant service providers or overseas administrators or service providers for providing a customer assistance services in different countries. The insurers provide the name and 24-hour claim assistance contact number of these service providers in the policy schedule or the policy copy. So these TPAs play a crucial role in cashless pre-authorization and also cashless claim settlements. So whenever there is a likely claim situation, the insured must get in touch with the assistance service providers. It will be helpful for the insured person to carry the overseas travel policy number, name of the TPA, that is the assistance provider, and their contact numbers handy while traveling overseas. The detailed claim procedure and documents required to be submitted for claim processing for each of the sections is detailed in the policy document. The policy also provides details on to whom the claim intimation is to be provided, whether it is to be given to the overseas assistance provider or Indian administrator or customer care number, and also the additional steps to be taken for claim process in each of the coverages. So on occurrence of any event which may give rise to a claim under the policy, immediate intimation of details are to be provided to the assistance provider, followed by submission of details sought by them, and this is essential for smooth processing of a claim. This intimation to assistance provider is required even if the insured wants to pursue the claim only after returning to India on reimbursement basis. So there are certain points which one should remember while taking overseas travel insurance. So I have just listed out them. Please take care that these following aspects are considered when you take the overseas travel insurance. Fill the proposal form with care. Ensure to provide complete answers to all the questions. Include the names of all the countries you are traveling in the proposal form, not just one or two countries. Retain a copy of the proposal form submitted by you. Please go through the different covers available with at least two or three insurance companies. Choose the insurer or the product which provides the maximum covers which you want. If you have any pre-existing condition, opt for extension of the policy to cover pre-existing conditions. Even if there are sublimits for the particular extension, still it is advisable to go for that cover. Select the appropriate sum insured based on the countries you are traveling and the level of medical cost in those countries. Once you receive the policy, check the schedule for details like your passport number, assignee name, your date of birth, countries of travel, policy period, sum insured, and overseas administrative details. If you find any error there, immediately write to the insurer to rectify the same. Do not neglect such errors. Carry the policy schedule or the policy number, the overseas administrator details, insurer's customer care contact details, either in the form of hard copy or a soft copy, with you throughout the trip duration. Immediately contact the overseas administrator in case of any situation likely to give rise to a claim. In case the trip duration is likely to extend, send the request for policy extension to the insurer well before the expiry date of the policy. Do not wait for the last day of the policy because the insurance company might take some days for taking a decision on extension of the policy. So, in the last two episodes, we discussed on the salient aspects of overseas travel insurance product. Now, I'll come back in the next episode with some more details on any other general insurance product. Until then, bye from Bhaskar.